Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, Amazon Music, Audible, iTunes, and more. I'm Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah thanks to my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, and it's an honorable moniker. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So I like to highlight what's right with the world, what's right with people, and specifically solutions instead of bemoaning or blaming or conspiracy theory or angry rhetoric about things that are affecting us. No hashing out all of the bad news that you woke up with that made you say, what is wrong with people? Instead, I bring you guests and topics and my good news from covering great events that are focused on solution. And today is no exception. I'm bringing you a story I got to cover yesterday. I was asked to go on location by my New York news agency to cover the Orange County Salvation Army's groundbreaking of a Center of Hope as a solution, a strong solution to homelessness, which is something that I'm always looking for. Statistics for the homeless in California in particular are staggering. 1 in 5 homeless people in the United States lives in California. And right now, I guess it's 160,000 homeless in our front and backyard. So covering this event, I have to say the ceremony and the speakers, especially the project lead, he's like a cross between a comedian and a preacher. And I certainly learned so much about the Salvation Army that I did not know about before. So I wanted to bring you that story. And not only that, I got a soundbite with one of the partners, the founder of the Samueli Foundation, Dr. Samueli, who is also the owner of the Mighty Ducks, which is my bonus dad's absolute favorite hockey team. So when we come back, I'll bring you that story. And I got such great feedback and cheers for my Grammy show yesterday. Someone asked about Jefferson Starship, and I actually didn't have enough room to spotlight the song that is one of my favorite songs, sung by Cathy Richardson, the lead singer of Jefferson Starship for the last 10 years. So she actually sang live in the studio one of my very favorite songs called What I Am. It's the most self-affirming song I know. So for the last half of the show, I'll be spotlighting my interview with Cathy Richardson, lead singer of Jefferson Starship, and a live performance of her song, What I Am. So for all that and more, keep it tuned here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, NBC News Radio on AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel, where if you free subscribe, you'll get an alert every 8 a.m. weekday mornings that a new show is about to drop. And as promised, here's the story about hope and homelessness from the Salvation Army, Orange County, and other partners. Enjoy.
So many friends, so many faces that have come out to support the groundbreaking of the Center of Hope campus. Welcome. We are so glad you're here today. We are going to lead off by introducing Major Rudy Hagren of the Salvation Army, one of the most popular Salvation Army officers in Orange County, dearly beloved, and also retired U.S. military member of the United States 82nd Airborne, to lead our pledge today in our invocation. Please stand and welcome Major Rudy.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Component to what we were doing, we were so inspired by 30 years of data telling us that, there's roughly 30 to 50% of our homeless population that's chronically disabled. And they're not going to be able to make it without some sustained, supportive housing. And we knew that if we could get them into permanent supportive housing, the statistics are amazing. Upwards of 80% of homeless placed in permanent supportive housing retain their housing at the 2-year mark. Isn't that extraordinary? Yes, it is. It's awesome. So we joined the wave of movement to get homeless housing up fast, and we assembled a team, an extraordinary team, and charged them with turning over every stone at the federal, state, and local levels and public-private partnership levels to raise enough funds to build an extraordinary 72 units of permanent supportive housing that we're breaking ground on today. $36.5 million project. 400 square feet of apartment space, 100% homeless housing. Extraordinary. And these places are built to last, built to survive 55 plus years of use. So we knew we wanted to build permanent supportive housing. But we also knew this. We were watching with you at the reality that our cities and our communities can't seem to build housing for the homeless fast enough. We watched an inspiration as our friends up north in Los Angeles in 2016 overwhelmingly passed the Triple H bond measure and approved $1.2 billion for 10,000 units of homeless housing. We said, wow, that's awesome. Watch what they're doing in that space. And then our head shrunk a little. In 2020, when they did follow-up reports, 2021, and said, 4 years into the Triple H project, they'd only gotten 365 units done. But during that same time, homelessness in that space had increased 13,000 people. And we said, look, there has got to be a different way. We have got to approach this homeless crisis with revolutionary thinking. Isn't that right? We've got to lift the lid off limitations on what a community can do. We went to work and we birthed something we believe is extraordinarily special. We call it the Homeless Throughput System. The Homeless Throughput System. I invite you for just a moment to join with me in the imagination of your mind and picture a classic baseball diamond, laid out that way for ease of understanding and remembrance. Get that baseball diamond in your mind, or see it to my right if you'd like. And picture first base. Yes, low barrier shelters. We run them. We are the largest low barrier shelter operator privately in the United States with 30,000 beds, the Salvation Army. We love the work done in low barrier shelter space. But how many know we don't want our homeless friends, neighbors, and loved ones to stay there Isn't that right? We want to exit them out to victorious living. Second base, supportive housing. What we've been talking about already. Knowing if we can get them in that space, the success rate is extraordinary. But this is the real breakthrough we're trying to build on. It's what we call third base. It's called Life Transformation Program. Because listen, the Salvation Army believes as a community we get what we aim for. If all we do are clear streets, we get shelters. If all we do is build homeless housing but don't get people free of drug addiction and back to work, we get projects and ghettos. Isn't that right? We believe we can aim farther and we can aim higher. We believe we can aim for complete community rehabilitation. We believe that we can see our loved ones and friends fully engaged in a victorious life back in the community again. And that's what the heart of the Center of Hope is, and the heart of the homeless throughput system. So that's an aspirational goal. We applaud that. Full re-engagement, reintegration in the community. What makes you think you can pull this off? Such an aspirational dream and goal. And I tell them, I said, look, the Salvation Army has been the United States leader in drug and alcohol rehabilitation for 50 years. Now, if you've ever walked a loved one through freedom of drug addiction, you know all things are possible to those who believe.
I'm here today to celebrate the groundbreaking of the Center of Hope campus. As many of you know, our family has been connected to the city of Anaheim for almost 2 decades now. It's the home, of course, of our beloved NHL franchise, the Anaheim Ducks, our future development project that Ben mentioned, OC Vibe, and we clearly are big believers in Anaheim and its future. Now come on board to the foundation to manage our social justice efforts. Joy to think that she will be helping shepherd the next chapter of our family foundation and our continued partnership with the city of Anaheim. So Aaron, please say a few words.
This is my first one of these, so be gentle. Thank you so much for that very sweet introduction. You know, like sweet family moments when they're captured in front of a large audience become even more special. I'm so thrilled to be with you all here today. It's such a special, special day and such a momentous, groundbreaking opportunity. Our Family Foundation is focused on supporting nonprofits serving their communities and serving our community. Beyond that, we also believe in investing in innovative, entrepreneurial, and sustainable ideas. I'm an earth friend myself, so sustainable in all senses of the word. To us, that is how transformative change happens. As such, when we learned about the Center of Hope, we knew we had to be involved. We strongly believe in the Salvation Army's approach to providing essential resources to address the unmet needs of individuals facing houselessness. And beyond that, when Ben was speaking about these silver spires and having an individual driving down the road maybe taking the wrong path and seeing those, to me, I get excited about a person who is struggling with addiction, who's struggling, who doesn't have a home. Seeing those silver spires and thinking, those are for me. Yes. I am worthy of that. Yes. That is beautiful. And ultimately, that's why we're all here today. To uplift that individual. Yeah. So we commend the Salvation Army for providing not only housing, but also wraparound services to humanize that experience. And for that reason, our family is proud to announce a $1 million gift towards the Salvation Army.
Good morning, this is Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, reporting live in Orange County, and I have a wonderful family that just made a significant help to the Salvation Army OC Hope Center. If you could introduce yourself and tell me why you're here and why this is important.
Hi, I'm Henry Samueli, and I'm here with my daughter Erin to support this incredible project, the Center of Hope. And we heard some wonderful speeches about what this will really mean for homelessness going forward. So Erin, maybe you want to add a few words.
Sure. Erin Samueli, the daughter. I'm so honored and glad to be part of a community that sees homelessness as a condition that you can work through, and you are a person through the entire process. I think the ethos here is a very humanistic one, and I believe in that perspective wholeheartedly. And by providing the wraparound services, the mental and physical health care, the pet care, the permanent housing, it shows that we as a community do value these individuals and care about them deeply and welcome them into this center of hope.
Yes, and you just donated $1 million from which foundation?
The Samueli Foundation.
Wonderful, and you're the proud owner of the Ducks. Go Ducks!
Yes, go Ducks!
It's my dad's favorite team, so
Good.
he's going to be so happy that I got this interview.
Wonderful.
But this is Dr. Marissa reporting live. You know that I cover what's right about people, what's right about the community, what's right about the world, because there is hope. It does spring eternal. I do this at the end of every show. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To end chronic homelessness in Orange County. That vision still burns brightly in our spirit and our soul today. We still believe it is possible to end chronic homelessness. We saw young children made to be child laborers cleaning chimneys. And they advocated to change the laws so that children would have hope and would not be victimized by a circumstance and situation that was unfair. Then again, the Salvation Army realized that people were working in match factories, and because of phosphorus causing their jaws to rot, they created the safety match. And once again, the Salvation Army stepped into the gap. Then again, in 1917, 250 volunteers here from the US went all the way across to the front line of France and worked with our US soldiers so that they could have nutrition and also, the most important thing, spiritual and emotional health. I want to tell you, the Salvation Army has always been committed to fight for the vulnerable, the lost, and those needing hope in our society. And yet today, in 2022, in January, we still stand in the gap, and we still say to our friends, we are committed to fighting for the lost. When William Booth says, while women weep as they do now, I will fight. While men go in and out of prison like they do today, I will fight. While one lost soul sits on the street, hopeless and homeless, I'll fight. I want to tell you, friends, today the Salvation Army commits to the city of Anaheim and its friends here in Orange County, and we pledge to you this commitment. We will continue the fight for the lost. We will continue the fight for those without hope. We will continue.
Colonel John Chamness is not a stranger to this space. As a matter of fact, he was with us in September of 2018 in the federal courthouse when he agreed to build the Anaheim Emergency Shelter in a handshake agreement with the city under the guise of federal judge David Carter. When there were questions inside the organization about whether low barrier shelter could coexist with an adult rehabilitation center on the same lot, Colonel Chamness lent his leadership credibility and said, we can do this, we will do this in California South, it's going to happen. The very location of the shelter was at the direction of Colonel Chamness. As he surveyed the parcel, he wanted some robust space between the low barrier shelter and the recovery center, and the space that he created is the footprint of the rest of the Center of Hope campus today. His responsibilities are enormous. It is the largest Salvation Army division in the western United States, California South. It extends from north of Santa Barbara all the way down to Los Angeles, Orange, San Diego County, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. We are honored to have Lieutenant Colonel John Chamness with us today. Thank you.
He's a really good liar. Well, it's a great privilege for me to be here today to celebrate with all of you this amazing accomplishment. Thank you to our Orange County team who have worked tirelessly to make this happen, for the city of Anaheim, for your generosity, Mayor, to us, to many others in Orange County who have made this possible. I want you to know, though, that the Salvation Army is not just doing this one project. We are marching across California doing this very same thing in many cities and communities across California. California has the highest rate of homelessness in our country. 1 in 5 homeless Americans resides in California. There's over 160,000 homeless individuals in the state of California, and the Salvation Army is going to do something about this. Just in the last 18 months, we have opened up 18 new shelters across Southern California, from LA to San Diego to here in Orange County. We are just going to continue to march across our communities, opening up places like this to bring hope and to bring healing and to bring opportunities to people across California. So thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your partnership. We are in this together, and we're going to make some significant changes in our communities to bring about this beautiful place called the Center of Hope. Let me pray for us, and then we're going to go throw some dirt.
Put the dirt in. Yeah, throw it forward, all right? 1, 2, 3. All right. Woo-hoo.
Wasn't that hope-filled? I have to tell you, it was the first time that I didn't think about homelessness and just shake my head in resignation, because believe me, I have been part of, I've watched, I've rooted on. I had the chairman of the board in LA on my show, trying different approaches, and everyone starts off with a lot of hope, and then somehow it just doesn't work out. And so I'm very heartened, and I absolutely will be keeping an eye and continuing to look for solutions, not on the problems. Because they say that the frame of mind that created the problem is different than that which is needed for the solution. So I always want us here to be in the best, most positive, happiest place, because when we're there, we're open to solutions. Okay? All right. And when we come back, as promised, the rest of my spotlight interview with Cathy Richardson, who's the lead singer of Jefferson Starship. I'm sure you know the name. Well, maybe not. The youngins probably won't. Go Google it and then play one of their top songs, and you will have heard it before. So we'll be back with Cathy Richardson singing one of my favorite affirming songs live in studio, and then talking about what it's like to be the lead singer of Jefferson Starship. Here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, CNBC News, NBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, iTunes, and more. And without further ado, here's the spotlight interview with Cathy Richardson, lead singer of Jefferson Starship, with a beautiful original song and her story that will make you believe in the law of attraction. Enjoy.
The other beautiful person I have in studio live is Cathy Richardson, who joined Jefferson Starship in 2008 and anchors the historic role made famous by Grace Slick, who she had dinner with last night. Her credits include fronting her own band, CRB, Macro Dots, and Nelson Street Revival, producing and releasing 7 independent albums. She was nominated a Grammy Award for art direction of Cathy Richardson's band 2003 release, The Road to Bliss. She started as Janis Joplin in the original off-Broadway cast of Love. And she just recently released a single, What I Am, and she's going to play it live.
Woohoo!
I forgot to ask her to bring the guitar, so she wrangled a guitar, literally, to do that later on. And I met her in Chicago on Soldier Field at an amazing fundraising effort by Journey's Dream. So without further ado, welcome Cathy Richardson.
Hello. Thank you.
You got into this and your dream come true, not even a dream.
Yeah, not even a dream. A weird manifestation of a dream come true that I never would have imagined for myself, which is kind of fun. You know, we say you're not supposed to worry about the how. It's just the what. You know, that's your thing, and then the universe takes care of the how. And it shows up in an unexpected and more magical than you even could have dreamed of.
Yes.
You know, I mean, that's what this whole situation is to me.
Yes. I've been told that if we just use our imagination, we're limiting ourselves.
Right.
Right? Right? So do you practice the law of attraction? Is that...
Yes.
Okay.
And I think everyone does, whether knowingly or not, you know. I didn't know what it was, and I was, you know, I'll just explain the first time that the concept occurred to me before it was in the news or I knew anything about it. I was in the early 90s. I was playing a gig with my band, and we were working so many nights. It was like, I don't know, our 4th show in 3 days or something, and I'd completely lost my voice, and I'm lugging my amp up the steps to the stage, and I say to my band, "Hey guys, we're gonna have to do a lot of jamming tonight because I don't know how I'm gonna sing." And at that minute, the stage stair bent and I broke my leg. So I couldn't sing that night, and I had to take several weeks off. Then I finally got in a walking cast, and I was back out there again, limping around. But anyway, as it turns out, the result of my leg breaking was the stage stair had been improperly installed. So
insurance.
Yes. And 3 years later, or God, I don't know how many years, whatever it was like 5 years later, it was settled. Now, I had been singing jingles for the first year, and I all of a sudden I had made a bunch of money, but I wasn't taking enough out for my taxes. And my accountant says, good news, you made a lot of money. Bad news, you owe $8,000 for your taxes. And I was like, where am I going to get $8,000? I didn't have, I was spending the money. I was
right.
So the very next day, settlement check comes in for within $42 of the amount I owed for the taxes. And it was from my breaking my leg 5 years ago or whatever it was. And I was like, you know what? I think this is a message that's telling me I should not ever worry about money, and I kind of lived my life that way ever since. And
everything always works out for you.
Yes, everything works out. And it could be money, it could be a job, it could be an experience, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The universe is conspiring for you.
Yes. Even though it doesn't seem like it sometimes.
Yeah. So I guess that would be what I want. I know I have a lot of listeners out there. Some of them had dreams of becoming a musician. Some of them are a little older and think that the dream's gone. Or what would you say to people who want to have a career or do music? What would you say to them?
Well, I would say there are so many. I mean, right now, the playing field has been more leveled than any other time in history because of technology. So if you're really good and you're really dedicated, you have to put yourself out there, and there's a million ways you can do it. And I think it's fine. It's fine to have a dream for a really long time and then decide, I'm done with this dream, and move on to something else. There's nothing wrong with that either. So I'm not saying force yourself to go after this dream at all costs, because you won't, it's not that. It's like, if your passion is music, whatever your passion is, if you just move confidently in that direction, you won't fail.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for those words.
Of course.
I think it's very inspiring for anyone. I'm a big, if when you stop dreaming, you die.
Right.
And I think that's Flashdance from Flashdance. It was one of those very influential songs / sayings.
Totally.
Her name is Cathy Richardson. She is the lead singer of Jefferson Starship, and we are so delighted not only to have you in studio. I was going to play this song, and I woke up the other day going, I wonder if she can do that song live. This is my favorite song of all time. I swear.
Awesome. Really?
I swear.
Wow.
I
That's
swear.
amazing.
Of all time. I love this song. And I asked her, could you bring a guitar? And so she found one at the 9th hour. And so without further ado, this is the best song in the world right now. Listen to the words by Cathy Richardson.
Intangible, incredible, inventive, unforgettable, exceptional, desirable, successful, undeniable, adaptable, agreeable, approachable, amenable, invaluable, respectable, powerful, indispensable. I am beautiful. I am magical. I am fantastical. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I am unbeatable. I am unbreakable. I am irreplaceable. Nothing's gonna bring me down, 'cause I am what I am. Lovable, colorful, noticeably wonderful, individual, original. I'm anything but typical. Blissful, grateful, hopeful, faithful, joyful, soulful, peaceful, playful, tactful, truthful, thoughtful, tasteful, thankful, tranquil, gentle, graceful. I am beautiful. I am magical. I am fantastical. Nothing's gonna bring me down. I am unbeatable. I am unbreakable. I am irreplaceable. Nothing's gonna bring me down, 'cause I am what I am. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the ground. I'm standing on this spinning earth, holding on for all I'm worth. And if I fall down, I'll get up again. I know what I am. Yeah, I am unbeatable. I am unbreakable. I am irreplaceable. Nothing's gonna bring me down, 'cause I am what I am. I am what I am. I am what I am.
Now you know why I love this song. It is the most life-affirming, self-affirming, loving self-song ever.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ever. I love it. And it's called
What I Am.
What I Am. And you heard every adjective that is positively affirming possible. And tell me the journey to write that song in 2 minutes.
No, it will only take that long. Honestly, I was answering a call to pitch a song for a commercial. I have no idea what the product was. It was a young women's product. And they gave sort of a musical direction, and they said positive, upbeat, self-empowerment anthem. So I sat down and I wrote the chorus right away. And then I had the idea to just use all these different words. And so I got together with my rhyming dictionary and sort of crafted all the words and how they would fit together and in the meter of the song. And and it was like a one afternoon project. Then I later, I didn't get picked for the commercial, whatever it was, but
really?
Yeah, I know. What the heck? But anyway.
It's too positive.
A record label and publisher in Australia heard it, and his name was Nick Chance Music. And
take a chance.
He said, I want to sign your song. I think it's a hit. I think it's got all this potential. So I signed it to, I was like, well, this could be my chance.
Yes. Yeah.
Literally.
Absolutely.
So I signed with Nick Chance, and so the record is out it's digitally on iTunes and all the online music stores. There's a video on YouTube, a couple of videos, a live video, and it's out there. So check it out, listen to it, download it, and who knows?
Yeah,
the chance is still out there.
Yes. What are the chances? The chance is there. Absolutely. I will do everything. I mean, I'll do everything to help with that because
cool,
I think that I mean that's a great theme song for any affirming. And in fact, I'm speaking at the Best You Expo in the Long Beach Convention Center at the end of March. I'm going to pitch this as the theme song for that. Bernardo
I love it.
Moya, he's coming on my show. Guess what I'm going to be asking you? No, that's
Awesome.
perfect.
Awesome.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
That is really something. And what about people who aren't feeling that positive about themselves?
Yeah.
You've had quite the journey.
Yes, I totally get that. I mean, I don't feel like that every minute of every day, I mean, to me, it was like something that I would want to tell my daughter. I would want my daughter to feel. And, sometimes I have to remember to love myself as much as I love my children, because I'm very important to them. Like if something happens to me, that it's like I'm very important to this world. There are people who need me, and so taking care of myself is something that we all need to take more time to do. So even if you don't believe it, sometimes just saying it, you start to feel it. So I think that's a really powerful thing about words and obviously thoughts, that they become. The more you're stuck in a negative thinking pattern, the more you get in a downward spiral of,
That's right. Yeah,
so,
that slippery slope. I call it the Labyrinth of Shiitake. You start out with stinking thinking, it goes to awfulizing, worst case scenario, and then it goes to the effinator.
Yeah.
And what I've done wrong. But you are touring, you're all over the place, so you're singing with the original band members.
Some of them. David Freiberg is original, and Donnie Baldwin is a historic member. There were several drummers throughout the era when the band was like really active recording and stuff. And then Chris Smith, who on keyboards has been in the band for 20 years.
You've been there since 2008.
Yeah, it's my 10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary.
Next month.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Where do people come and support you or...
Oh, well, I have a website, CathyRichardson.com, Cathy with a C. You can also remember that by crband.com. And I have a Facebook page, Twitter, all the things.
All the things that you never thought you'd have to do.
Yeah. I still even have a MySpace, although I never go on it. But I don't even know if I know the password anymore. But there is one still up.
What's next for you? What do you see?
Oh, wow.
What do you want? What do we want to intend and manifest?
Well, for this year, I'm trying to finish my Project 365 that I started last year. I got halfway through the year of posting a video song a day, every day of the year. I got to 207 and I just was like, I need a break. And then that break turned into the rest of the year. So on January 1st, I started reposting the videos, and I hope to complete all 365 by the end of 2018. And then I will have made some incredible accomplishment. I have no idea why or what for what reason, but I don't know. It's so fun to like play every song that there is, and then try to think of more songs after that. Like, I never used to play covers. I was always writing songs, just adamant about being an artist, doing it on my own terms, being indie. You know, I made all these records in the 90s and played all over the place with my band, driving around in a van, you know, just road dogging it and woodshedding. And then one day, you know, this Janis Joplin play came calling, and I was like, suddenly I was being a completely other artist and getting, like, not only getting into her music, but just getting into being her, you know, which was really weird for me. But it was such a growth experience that, you know, it was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me.
So you went from one end, and now it's okay. You can still be an artist and a musician and do other people's stuff.
Yes, and I'm going to do all of them.
Fabulous. Well, I have a couple of originals that are on iTunes, so maybe you can do one of mine.
Awesome.
There we go.
Cool.
But that's fabulous, and it is a feat. It's a discipline, right?
It is.
It's a discipline for sure.
Yeah.
To say I'm going to put a song out every single day.
Yeah.
So good for you. So
Thank
you've got 200 or 190 days to ramp up for day 208.
Exactly. And I've already started, you know, filming
out.
some, and
good.
You know, but now I don't have to be under this like duress every single day of my life.
It's not fun anymore.
No, I didn't really do it very wisely. If I was ever going to do it again, this is how I would do it. I would stockpile a bunch of them in advance and then go, instead of like on January 1st being like, I'm doing this. And then it was like every single day I was in, and the more I got behind, the more I felt I had to catch up. It was very stressful. And I'm like, why? I did this to myself. Like, no one told me to do this. I'm not getting anything out of this other than my own whatever, you know, my own challenge. And so I did pull back.
Go easy.
Yes, exactly.
Go easy on yourself.
Don't kill yourself.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
It's only
fun.
music. Music is for grooving, man.
There you go. There you go. And I don't know if the camera can see her pants. I love your pants. She goes, I'm across the street, and I'm like, oh yeah, there you are. Cathy Richardson, Jefferson Starship in the house.
Woo!
So the last question I usually ask people is, who are you grateful to or for? What are you grateful for or to that kind of made you who you are and has helped you come to this point?
Wow. I would have to say my parents, and now you're going to make me cry.
I love that. I love that. Now I know why I asked the question.
Yeah, no, I'm a big crier from way back. I cry about everything. But, you know, I lost my mother in 2005, and she was 63, very young. It was very sad. But my mother was a singer, and she was also somewhat of a feminist on the DL, you know, and she always told me when I was growing up, I was a big tomboy, and she always, you know, she'd say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I want to be a fireman, and she's like, "You can do that," you know, and I was like, "I can," and because I thought you had to be a man to be a fireman, and she said, "Nope, you can be a fireman if you want. You can do anything you want." So to my mother, all the love for that. And
beautiful.
And when I was coming out of a suicidal depression, she sat me down and said, "What would make you happy?" And I said, "I want to do music." And she said, "Okay, let's make a plan." And she sat me down, and she never said anything like, "Don't do it, it's hard." You know, my dad did say that, although I'll get to him in a minute. But my mom always said, "Go for it, go for it." I can just hear her telling me to go for it. And
beautiful.
you know.
And we're glad that you did.
Thank you.
Yeah. And your dad?
my dad, I just got to give it to him for, my mom was she was like a church lady and very sweet and bubbly. And, and my dad was kind of rock and roll. So I think I got the rock and roll from my dad. He was a little bit rebellious. He had a great record collection. He let me get an electric guitar when I begged and begged and begged and begged and begged and begged. He said, all right, if you want an electric guitar, save your money and I'll match funds. So I got like $80 together. I'm like, surely this must be enough to buy. So we went down and we found a $190 guitar at the local music store. And I didn't have an amp, but my dad was like electronically minded. He knew I could plug it into the phono jack and the stereo and it would have distortion. He got me a phase shifter pedal that makes it go, and then he handed me a Beatles record and he said, here, figure this out. So I have to give it to him for the rock and roll.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
And just the permission, both of them, the permission to follow my dreams. That, it's so important for parents.
Yes, it is. And thank you for sharing that.
Yes, thank you.
Your heart, and tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft. So thank you for sharing that.
My
and
pleasure.
Your heart
Thank
with
you.
me. Cathy Richardson, go get the song. And thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you for having me so much.
Yeah.
Wasn't that delightful? That song is still my favorite to this day. And that is it for show number 629. And thank you so much, not just for making me the number one show at 8 a.m. on the number one station in IE, but thank you so much. I've had a significant uptick in the views on my YouTube, and we are very close to 250,000. So thank you. Keep tuning in, keep listening and watching, because this is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her living room during the pandemic, reminding you it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go forth and multiply the solution that you are, and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.